Gentleman is here in the photo. Just receiving an MBE. Jamal Edwards. That's right. He is a real phenomenon. 24-year-old founder and chief executive of SBTV, one of the clients of Rightster, but a real phenomenon in terms of representing the new digital media world. My name is Patrick Walker. I am from Seattle. Please no comments about the Super Bowl results. I've been living in the UK for the last 15 years, and I'm going to tell you a little story about Rightster, talk about the industry that we're working in, importantly, then what our role is within it. So, first of all, go back one. There we go. This is all about storytelling. A lot of folks get very excited about technology that's helping facilitate transmission of content, but they sometimes forget that it really is about great storytelling at the core, and our job as technologists is to help storytellers perform better, reach more audiences, get more insights back, and then find a new way to build a following. And so we like to make sure that the creative people we work with can stay creative, and our job is to help the storytellers be storytellers and then make all the complicated world of distribution in the digital video space super easy. I also like to use this image because one thing that's changed dramatically in the last, 10, 15 years in particular in online video is there have been this explosion of new points of video consumption. Back in the old days, people used to sit around a campfire and they would tell a story. It was a combination of sight, sound, and motion that was very appealing, very intimate, and the way that someone reacted to your story, you could see that. You could change their body position, whether they're interested, whether they were scared. You could accelerate, you could slow down. You had a real way in real time to get feedback on your storytelling capabilities. Interestingly, with digital video today, places like YouTube, real-time reaction to storytelling is alive again. The challenge is there are now millions of stories being told around campfires at the same time. And how do you find an audience in this world of fragmented video? That's what I'm going to talk to you about today. Back in the 50s, and even today to some extent, large audiences were reached through broadcast television. Very easy to hit a large audience, few channels, not a lot of choice, very effective for advertisers. But you kind of know that half the audience you're speaking to wasn't paying attention. You just didn't know which half, so you spent all your money on broadcast. Then there is portability, which it's not really a new desire of fans and users of content to ask for portability. This is the tummy television in the 1970s. It talks about this great new portable media consumption device. At the end of it, in the ad from Sony, it says, the biggest problem is agreeing on which program to watch. That's no longer a problem in most households because people are watching what they want to watch at the time they want to watch it on a platform that may be completely disconnected or have nothing to do with what their parents' understanding of media consumption is. If you have teenagers like I do, it's a very easy way for them to circumvent whatever rules you have for media consumption and go straight to the source for whatever it is they want to fill their eyes with. And oftentimes this is going to be through platforms like YouTube and other places. Again, very rapidly fragmenting marketplace. So if you are a marketer, if you are a content creator, and you choose still, just out of legacy, one of these platforms to reach an audience, your chances of getting it wrong are very, very big. And they're getting bigger. So there's too much choice for audience and brands now. This is a good thing for the consumer, but it's a challenge for rights holders. It's a challenge for marketers, advertisers. It's a challenge for distributors that want to attract eyeballs without being overly intrusive, because authenticity is also very important in this day and age. Out of this confusion, a new type of business was born called the MCN. Anybody know what that means? A little quiz. Multi-channel network. It's definitely not the massive chipmunk nest or the Muskogee Creek Nation with a Native American tribe in North America. MCN was a term coined by YouTube. I actually was the first employee for YouTube outside of North America, hired prior to the YouTube acquisition, and launched and built the team to run and manage YouTube relationships with rights holders, advertisers, and consumers in Europe, Middle East, and Africa for 8 years prior to joining Base 79, which was acquired by Rightster in July of last year. So this is something that's very close to my heart. When I was at YouTube, we actually came up with this term, multi-channel network, because there were so many channels coming onto YouTube, and it was a great explosion of people broadcasting directly to users via this new amazing platform. But a lot of these rights holders didn't really know how to manage it, technically speaking. They didn't really know about best practices. They didn't really understand search engine optimization. So a whole new category of this company was born called MCN, or multi-channel network. And so YouTube websites, taken from the website, that just says these are what these companies do. And what these companies do is focus on efficiency to help rights holders and video creators do better on a very complex, easy to use, but from in the back end, complex platform where everybody's competing for eyeballs. Does that make sense? So there's a lot of things happening in the industry that are great for a business like Rightster because there's a tailwind that if we steer our ship correctly, we can take advantage of a lot of people's big investment, a lot of people's massive shift in funding to these platforms. So from 9.8 billion in terms of online video spend to 17.3 billion anticipated by 2017 in the US alone. This doesn't even account for the markets that are growing. As you see in the bottom right, they're 80% year on year relative to North America. Fastest markets are the international, ex-US, and even ex-Central European markets. YouTube, when I was there at Google, we acquired YouTube for $1.6 billion. It's now estimated to be between value of $26 to $40 billion. So fastest growing revenue source at Google today. So this is a very exciting space to be in. And we are at the forefront of it, in large part because we represent a lot of the talent and the rights holders that are leveraging these platforms for growth and distribution. This was an interesting survey from Variety magazine in North America that asked people between the age of 12, I think it's 12, and 18, who their biggest aspirational stars are in the world. Surprisingly, to most people in the industry, including myself, the top 4 out of the 5 and the top, I think, 13 out of 20 were all YouTube stars. They weren't the movie stars, TV stars, people you'd expect with the big salaries. There were people in their bedroom making comedy videos, video blogs, beauty blogs. This blew the industry apart. And all of a sudden, there's a land grab for these people as talent. But they don't know how to work with big brands. They even don't know how to work with big distribution platforms. Again, Rightster at the forefront represents hundreds of these talent on behalf of different media distribution points. We match make them with brands to help them make new types of advertising, which is why this category of MCM has become very popular in the investment community and as an acquisition target. So some of our competitors in North America have been acquired by or taken large investments from major media organizations, and some of them in Europe as well. You might have heard of Maker Studios, bought by Disney for $1 billion. Fullscreen, the second biggest one after Maker, was acquired by AT&T and the Cherning Group, which was an investor in Base 79, and still is a small investor in Rightster. So this is happening very quickly. But Rightster is a UK-based, international, but UK-based, fast growth video distribution platform, and we're independent, which we like. We are also part of that trend of things coming together. Rightster acquired Base 79, which is a company that I was an investor in and as a non-exec on the board whilst I was running YouTube. And Viral Spiral, which is an expert in research and delivery of great propositions for brands using social video. Things like Charlie Bit My Finger, have you heard of that video? Or Sneezing Panda, or Fenton the Dog. They represent these videos on behalf of the owners for licensing, brand use, distribution, television programming. They're really good experts in things like Vine, Facebook, Instagram. So the combination is really interesting. It's greater than the sum of the parts, independent, and so that we can work with competitors under the same platform. We work with 20th Century Fox and NBC Universal. We work with Sony Music and Warner Music at the same time because we're neutral and we're agnostic. And so it's a really powerful combination, greater than the sum of the parts. We spent the last several months working hard to get some real operational excellence and efficiencies of the combined business. And this has continued to lead to growth of our business. This was a speech at an event called Brandcast. There are 1,000 advertisers and agencies in London, and they did this in different parts of Europe and the world, where they talked about partners that are changing the industry. Robert Kinsel, my former colleague at YouTube, said that Rightster is our biggest partner in Europe, the first YouTube MCN to go public, recently acquired Base 79, and now one of the largest MCNs in the world. So it's great. We're still growing. We haven't missed a beat. And we actually, importantly, have a secret plan compared to our big U.S. competitors who are battling each other out in Hollywood and knocking down margins on the YouTube business. We're actually accelerating in all the markets that are growing quickest outside the U.S., but also within the U.S. We're in the top 10 YouTube partners domestically, one of the biggest internationally, and accelerating quickly in markets like out of our office in Singapore. We have office in India, subcontinent, looking very much into Eastern Europe from our offices in in Europe and Nordics and so forth. Latin America managed out of Madrid currently. Big growing part of our business is in Latin America. 1.5 billion views per month. It's a pretty big, attractive proposition to an advertiser to know that we are a route to reach young people through this sort of platform. So YouTube is one part of the picture. One of the reasons I left YouTube, because they were starting to get big, starting to get a bit creaky. The terms for clients were starting to get a bit rigid. And you can see now, Facebook has come out, 1 billion views per month. What's this thing called Snapchat? If you ask your kids what they use most, they're probably going to tell you Snapchat. Who's got a plan for Snapchat? All these other video platforms. You've got the Daily Mail, one of the biggest video distributors in the world. So there's all these different touch points for video, and rights holders are like, wait, how do I get to all these places super easy, simply? And if you're an advertiser, how do I insert myself in this combination? That's what Rightster is. Cloud-based video distribution in the middle, the promise being upload once, monetize everywhere. Global and local at the same time. So when we act as a bit of a broker, if you like, for our rights holder partners who want a guide to help them navigate which part of the business should they emphasize within YouTube, how much should they play from an owned and operated player perspective, what should they be thinking about with Snapchat and Facebook. That's where we come in, but powered by software. So a good example of that would be one of our partners, SNTV, which is a sports news distributor. They have clients all over the world that were taking a video feed in the old school satellite broadcast way, and they decided to outsource their entire video online distribution business to Rightster for super easy, upload once, commercialize everywhere. And we push that content out to owned and operated sites of theirs, YouTube, and hundreds of publishers around the world that want a daily feed into their local newspaper site for what's happening in sports. It's a really good example. Here's an interesting case study from one of the big brands that we're working with directly as well. Turkish Airlines has decided to take a leap into the digital space to try and connect with young people. They did a really successful campaign with Kobe Bryant, basketball player, and Lionel Messi, you might have seen. It won them all these awards. The next phase in experimentation was with Rightster, and this was introduced and actually jointly pitched with Google, who are very close friends of ours, if you like, whilst we're also trying to move people off their platform just as a defensive mechanism. And we jointly won this pitch, very large proposal, to create a global YouTube campaign sending vloggers, video bloggers, for those of you who don't know the word vlogger, around the world to create a series of exciting travelogues showcasing destinations that Turkish Airlines flies to. And the results you can see on the bottom are pretty spectacular. And the great thing about this is a lot of the MCNs, we're a multi-platform network, the ones that are working exclusively with YouTube talent really only will represent 2 brands, the talent that they have within their own service. We've created a global talent network that is independent of our own YouTube relationship, and 5 of the 10 YouTubers we worked with here were actually working with other MCNs. So we rise above from a sort of MCN agnostic, platform agnostic perspective, and we service the brand with the best talent for that campaign, which is great. So it's led to more collaboration between different MCNs, and it's elevated us to a position, as I said before, as a multi-platform network that can service brands independent of whichever local MCN services them on YouTube. Does that make sense? I'm going to show you a video example of what this campaign led to. Here you go. Oh, sorry. Back.
The world is an adventure waiting to happen. Join us on our journey with Turkish Airlines. Turkish Airlines took 10 of the biggest YouTubers in the world and created a series of stunning travelogues that saw them journey to the 4 corners of the globe. Flying business class with Turkish Airlines, the YouTubers got to explore the sights, sounds, and tastes of Istanbul. Enjoying all that Istanbul had to offer, each YouTuber continued their adventure by flying to another of Turkish Airlines' breathtaking destinations.
Can turn down the other. So the YouTubers combined have already built up over many years a very large millions of subscribers that watch their every move. And so by Turkish Airlines working with us to get them to fly to Istanbul, then instantaneously travel the world, make great videos, they had a pre-built audience that Turkish Airlines became part of the narrative as opposed to inserting themselves as a traditional ad in traditional television. It's a very exciting new trend in advertising called native advertising that we're at the forefront of. And these deals, the briefs we're seeing are getting bigger and bigger and more global and global with clients like these coming to our door now. And in some ways, awakening the more traditional advertising agency community to this industry as well. So we've been proving that we can execute quickly. We are growing the business. Acquisition has been an important part of the growth story, but even post-acquisition, you can see a rapid increase in views from 1.2 billion to 1.5 billion views per month as we brought the companies together in that same exact period. So large numbers of views, placing us at the forefront of this industry and a large partner for YouTube worldwide. Uniques worldwide growing similarly from 113 million to 124 million uniques using our technology, engaging with our talent, and working with our content partners. Revenues for full year 31st December 2014 expected to exceed 8.5 million. And some great noteworthy partnerships that we're working with Turkish Airlines and so forth, Formula E, Sony Music Entertainment, all new, signed in Q4 of last year, and several other ongoing conversations. So, time is up. In summary, storytelling has evolved. It's powered by technology, and we're working with technology and with content creators. The right blend of sort of art and science, understanding the art part, but really, really good at the science to help accelerate storytelling internationally. We're a unique multi-platform network servicing content owners, brands, and publishers. And we're enabling our stakeholders to unlock the potential of online video. We call this rightcasting, from broadcasting to narrowcasting to rightcasting, which is right content, right time, right platform, right audience. Thank you for your time. And we're at stand number 21 if you have any more questions. Thank you.